Everyone who's here, I'd like to say welcome um, to Ann Arbor Farm and Gardens February meeting. Normally we do this with just members, but we have a special program today. I'm Carrie Riedemann. I am the president of Ann Arbor Farm and Garden. And I have to say that usually speaking to over 100 people is usually not part of this job description. But I'm delighted to be doing so today because it means that you're all here to support our mission and hear some great garden information. We would certainly all prefer to be in person doing this, but I'm trying to look at the silver lining. It's February, it's 18 degrees outside, but we don't have to leave the comfort of our home to be able to take a walk in the garden with Janet Macunovich, and that's a really good thing. I'm also recuperating from double knee replacement surgery. So this is really convenient for me. So here's a pretty picture. I know many of your names. You've come to our garden walks. You're part of an organization that we've worked with or helped fund. And so I know that this is the kind of visual eye candy that we all need right now. Especially when we look outside. And what we found is that as we're coping with the COVID pandemic, it's become ever more clear that gardening plays a special role in our assisting our mental health and our physical health. People around the world have turned to gardening during this time. Some interesting, you can see some headlines there. Some statistics I found. Within 100 days of the first lockdown in the UK last spring, the Royal Horticultural Society's website had 15 million visitors compared to 20 million in the entire year of 2019. As we know, and actually the Johnny's image that you see here, I actually pulled that today. Seed companies couldn't keep up with the demand. Burpee, who's been around for 144 years, sold more seed than any time in its history in March of last year. And Johnny's saw a 270% jump in orders in 1 week in March. So, everyone's turning to the soil. We have somebody not muted. So Ann Arbor Farm and Garden is all about gardens. That's what we do. This year, our small, all-volunteer nonprofit organization will celebrate its 75th year. And in that time, we've provided funding and support to gardens. Sorry, there goes my cane. To garden-related projects in our community through fundraising events such as this kind of presentation, as well as our annual June Garden Walk, where I know I've seen and met many of you. We've raised and distributed more than $600,000 in grants and scholarships to our area. Sorry, I guess I should have this up. Our flower ladies, unfortunately, obviously the pandemic has kept them from doing their good work, but they've been at Mott Children's Hospital since 1981, bringing flowers and smiles to the patients there. We support school and community gardens, edible gardens, public gardens such as Mathi Botanical Gardens and Nichols Arboretum, restoration projects, beautification projects, and much more. And that's all thanks to the support of people like you. Education has always been a very important facet of our mission from the very start. And our scholarship awards for college, undergraduate, and graduate students have assisted hundreds of people in their pursuit of horticultural and environmental careers. And in fact, we heard last month from Kathy Bach, a a professor of biology and science who was one of our award recipients back in the 70s. And so it's wonderful to see what she's gone on and done with our help. Today's program is another part of our educational mission. And who better to learn with than Janet? I went looking for a quote this morning, an inspirational quote, as I tend to do, to set the tone for today's meeting. And here's what I found. I've heard people say, I garden in lieu of therapy, but therapy would be cheaper. I believe gardening's worth the price since it's at least as effective in curing head and heart of what ails us. And of course, the speaker is Janet Macunovich. So she is introducing a new topic today, getting more mileage from your garden. And I think we are probably all very eager to find out how to do that, since we do spend, hopefully, a lot of time and effort and sweat in the garden. So I'm going to turn it over to Janet. I'd like to say thank you again for joining us today. And hopefully we'll be able to do this in person sometime soon. Keep an eye on our website for upcoming events as we work to plan garden walks and hopefully other wonderful things this year. And now I turn it over to Janet.